What's up, YouTubeites? I forgot what I was going to call you guys. I'm like,
what up,
welcome to the CovrPrice Weekly Top 10. I didn't know what I was going to call them. I was going to call them something else. But anyways, we don't have Marty. We got Lando. We got Gabe. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
1, 2, ready.
Perfect, guys. Welcome into the CovrPrice Weekly Top 10. Most of you, or some of you, are getting back from Megacon, so you kind of have an idea of what might be on this list, but might not. You never know. Gabe, say what's good.
What's up, everybody? Yo, yo, yo. Another exciting Tuesday. We got an interesting list, a nice like splattering of different stuff on the list this week. So we're not going to be talking about the same stuff over and over and over this week, which is awesome. Because it gets to show that the market is still kind of shifting and navigating through stuff. If you went to Megacon, I hope everybody had a good time. I'm glad you survived Florida and didn't get eaten by alligators or bath salts. So that's always excellent. That's always a good thing. Alligator in Florida.
And Florida man is famous in Florida because in the news, Florida man is always there.
Yeah.
Florida man stabs 5 people at a 7-Eleven while having a plunger up his butt. That kind of stuff. That's
the Florida man. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh God. Gabe, shirt. You know the drill.
X-Men 26, everybody. Or 24, excuse me.
Yeah.
That's
so romantic. Perfect for Valentine's Day week. That's like the best one.
Gross. Gross.
What do you mean gross? Don't tell your wife gross.
Suckers.
It's fine.
You don't love your wife or your husband every day?
Every single day. That's the way.
That's like the biggest cop-out not to have to celebrate Valentine's Day. Just get her some flowers. It's just like an extra reminder.
I get my wife flowers randomly. Just, I should probably get her some flowers.
I actually like
not
that
because
better.
I made her mad or not because I need her to like clean the bathrooms or anything like that. Just, you know what? There's a flower shop. Let me go and do something randomly. That's the best. It's expected on Valentine's Day, right?
Made her clean the bathroom is what he said. Made her.
You can get candy any day of the year. What makes Halloween special?
Could you get it from strangers who might put drugs or syringes on it?
There's razor blades possibilities, right? Yeah,
it's a little dangerous, little dangerous. Makes the candy that more exciting. Back when I was trick or treat, I trick or treated until I was like 27 years old. Like I went all the time.
So
aren't you a little older? My little brother's in the hospital, so they give me more candy. But I don't have a little brother. It was just a made-up story to get more candy.
You guys need to buy your girlfriend's flowers. I'm gonna say it, but I wouldn't mind a slab for Valentine's Day. That would be kind of romantic. Lando, I feel like I haven't seen you in ages, so hello.
What's good, man? Yeah, dude, I missed you guys, both of you, but especially the chat. What's up, guys? It's been forever, right? I wasn't here last week, so I'm happy to be here this week. Gabe said it. It's an interesting week, man. It's like a splatter, he says, right? Tons of interesting stuff, guys. There was obviously Megacon. There's a lot of spec stuff. We got a ton of trailers. So obviously the aftermarket saw some action on that side. This week we have a movie releasing. Yes, Captain America. I'm pumped. I don't know if you guys are pumped. I'm pumped. I am pumped. We're getting a good year of movies. Good year of movies, guys. Come on. July is gonna eat my wallet, man. Superman. Fantastic
Four. That's the one I want.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Superman looks good too. What?
Fantastic Four. You don't need to get into it, but Fantastic Four is not doing it for me, and I'm a Fantastic.
You don't like the retro look? I think it kind of works. No. It's different.
I don't like that it's an alternate universe or an alternate reality. It's not in the main MCU.
Just go in with an open mind and see what happens.
No, that's propaganda.
Oh,
Don't tell me that.
Closed mind. We're going really, really
That's
close.
that's an MK Ultra nonsense right there.
Oh my! Oh, Gabe. Here we go. On that horrible note, let's jump in. Guys, if you're just joining, this is the Cover Price Weekly Top 10. So we are looking at aftermarket sales, reflecting the last 7 days of actual sales. This is you guys that made the list. Our algorithms are considering major units sold, major sales, and percentage growth when we decide which comics make the list. Every week, we have our runners up. Gabe, what do we have this week?
What we have coming up is a book that I haven't thought about since 2015 or 2015, which is We Stand on Guard, #1 from Image Comics, July 2015. We Stand on Guard is a dystopian comic series set in the future where the United States invades Canada for their water resources.
Huh.
And of Canadian freedom fighters known as 2-4 use guerrilla tactics to resist the technologically superior American forces, just superior in all forces in general, and their giant robots. It's a thrilling and thought-provoking read that raises questions about our future, especially with so much going on with the political landscape today. The current trade tensions between the U.S. and Canada is what's making this book go crazy on the aftermarket. Collecting a piece of history is a huge part of collecting, and people are drawing parallels between this book and current international relations. We've got 20 copies sold, 7-day growth of 44%, high sell $80 for a CGC 9.8, but currently a near mint raw dog is $3.
Are there tensions, Lando? Are you feeling tense over there?
Nope, no tension between us. That's for sure. Look, I clearly the tensions are high in the real world. Yes, I can understand why people flock to this book, especially with what's going on in the world. I have not read this book, so I totally, now that I know of it, want to give it a read. But tensions, nah, man. I love you guys no matter what. You know this. Canada. Yes, I'm a Canadian. I know we have Canadians in the chat here. I know we have Americans on the panel and in the chat, but we're a family. At the end of the day, I don't care.
Aww, that's so beautiful. I love that. And we have a couple
This
people
is a
actually.
good book. If you're, it's Brian K. Vaughan. So all the Brian K. Vaughan fans out there, you want to check it out. And the art by Steve Scroach is awesome. Like, he's a guy that did Wolverine, he did X-Men for a while, but then he took off and he did all the storyboards for The Matrix. So
Why
his
does Brian
art
K. Vaughan sound familiar? Who is that?
Saga, Why the Last
Saga.
Man.
Okay. I'm like, that name sounds so familiar.
Runaways. Yeah. Deus Ex Machina. Yeah. It's Brian K. Vaughan's. You can never go wrong with his books.
You're telling me with that big brain maintaining all that information, you remember to get your wife flowers. All right, number 11.
I can't even remember my kid's birthday, man. I got to pick up their medication at the pharmacy. That's the worst.
You can remember all this other random comic stuff.
It's like a glass. It's already full of stuff. So I put more information in there. Stuff's going to spill out. And usually that's my wife's birthday or the kid's birthday or, stuff like that. Unimportant stuff like that.
Yeah. Who cares about prescriptions? We Stand on Guard #1 is making the runners up list this week. We tracked, I don't know. Well, I don't do that part. 20 copies sold. Yeah. 7-day trend, 44% with a high sale of $80 for a TGC 9.8. Not bad. Lando, what do we have next?
Let's get into the top 10, guys. Spawn 360, Brett Booth from the 2025 Megacon that just came out this week. That's right. Here we have the sketch sketch that was limited to 1,500 copies by Image. Now, Spawn has been on fire lately for good reason. He's been getting awesome covers like this week after week. Like numerous other characters, Spawn got some love at Megacon. Brett Booth delivered a limited variant for the show, a sketch version of his 1 in 50 Virgin variant for this book. The 1 in 50 is seeing heavier monetary attention, but this sketch version is still in the cards for numerous collectors who missed the show and are recovering on the aftermarket. We tracked 34 copies sold at a 7-day growth trend of 8% with a high sale of $250 for a near mint plus copy,
Whew.
a current near mint raw price of $92, which is very impressive. The book is stunning. Look, I've said it many times before on the show. Sketch covers are not my favorite thing, but man, this one is very, very nice. I love it. Megacon, if you had the opportunity to pick this up and you were there, well, you can clearly make some quick money on the secondary market. Although, I'd have a hard time parting with this.
I'd part with it for $250 raw. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
This would be gone for me. Gabe, you are muted.
He's
Even
making a call
the
in for the
$92 is going for. I would let it go.
Right, yeah. This is
But-
one that I would want to like hold on to.
But this is a cool sketch cover, though. I know,
Yeah.
Vandals, you don't like sketch covers. This works. Brett Booth is great. There's a lot of action and everything's flowing through here. It's a really cool cover. This is probably the book to get at Megacon. I don't think anybody else cared about anything else at Megacon.
This was the book. Everybody was talking about this. I'm surprised it only hit 10 though, because some other ones beat this one out. So I mean, the aftermarket has spoken. At number 10, Spawn 360, Brett Booth, 2025, sketch limited to 100 or 1,500 with a raw near mint, guys, $250 and 7-day trend of 8%. Gabe, what do we have next?
All right. Number 9, we got this Magik #1 Peach Momoko 2025 Megacon Trinity Comics Virgin, limited to 777 copies. They printed 111 copies too many. So Magik has been growing in popularity for years now. She's had a ton of eyes on her recently, thanks to Marvel Rivals. Of course, when you pair Magik, Peach Momoko, and Megacon with limited availability, there's going to be some aftermarket movement. Momoko collectors showed up regardless, which helps propel aftermarket sales, as there will inevitably be those who missed out on picking this book up at the con. Once you get further away from the event, it will be interesting to see how this book holds up. We tracked 12 copies sold, 11-day growth of 17%, high sell, $100 for near mint, and currently near mint raw is $95. So still holding strong compared to that Spawn book that really took a dive already.
I'm really weary whenever the print runs are like 777, 666, 444. Like, that
666 would have
always,
been smart.
yeah, it always kind of like throws me off a little bit because I just, I don't know. Yeah.
Because you know how many they really had to print to get this.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, they could be destroying the rest of them. I mean, you never really know, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I look, forget the exclusive for just a second. I thought Magik 1 was actually a fine read. It was really good. I'm enjoying it. Obviously, there's a lot of great covers, especially at
So
Megacon.
many covers.
Yeah.
So many good covers.
Especially now Megacon dropping this Momoko one. Look, Momoko fans, we've said it in the past as well. We know that Momoko fans love Momoko's work. They absolutely do. Willing to pay the premium. But raw near mint hitting $100 doesn't surprise me. Fresh out of Megacon. If you guys didn't have a chance to get this on the secondary market, of course, people are going to pay a little bit of a premium. I'm curious to see if this holds the test of time.
This doesn't even look like Magik to me.
Right?
If you showed me this character and said, "Who is this?" I would have no idea.
Is it the coloring or is it she just too young looking?
Well, it's the coloring. Like she's blonde here. She looks like, I don't know, like she washed her hair in the toilet. and the sword looks kind of alive. Like it looks a little more kind of like fleshy.
Yeah.
And that's not what it looks like at all. It's more of like a giant black bastard sword kind of thing.
Yeah. It's an interesting take for sure. It's unique.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was mid-drink break. All right, number 9, Magik #1, Peach Momoko, Trinity Comics limited to 777. Raw near mint coming in at $100, 7-day trend, 17%. All right, Gabe, what do we have next? Wait, yeah, I know.
I'm pretty sure it's
I know.
It is I.
Brando.
Yes, it is I. And look at this bad boy. We have all new Venom #1, the Humberto Ramos second print wraparound version, the 1 in 25 ratio by Marvel that just came out this February. Now, there's been a growing trend of popular books getting a second print and receiving ratio variants for said issue. This book is a perfect example, with a ton of hype surrounding the release of cover A, as it teased an all-new Venom symbiote with a mystery host. Numerous collectors missed out, and Marvel opted to release a second print ratio with an awesome wraparound cover featuring Venom from Humberto Ramos. Collectors have been pouncing on the chance to secure a copy on the aftermarket, as most local comic shops will not order enough copies of a second print to hit ratio. We tracked 7 copies sold at a 7-day growth trend of 44%, with a high sale of $109 for a near mint copy and a current near mint raw price of $75. Now, it is true, yes, most shops will not go all in on these second printings to hit the ratio. So already, that's, again, I saw CovrPrice in the chat talking supply and demand. This is a prime example. I cannot stand that Marvel does this with so many of their titles where they go to a second print and the ratio happens to be a cover that we got on the first print. It does bother me.
You took the words out of Gabe's mouth. I felt it coming.
It's something that
I'm influencing you guys. I'm getting you in. Variant covers are dumb.
I genuinely despise it, but this is a beautiful cover as a wraparound and as a virgin, so I'm willing to accept it somewhat on this one. But besides the point, guys, yes, there's a lot of hype on the all new Venom stuff. Now we know that within issue 5, we're gonna find out who the new host is. So I know some people went all in on issue 1. It's okay, but issue 5 is what we're gonna find out who the all new Venom host is. And I don't know, man. I really feel like it's Paul, and Mary Jane's new boyfriend there.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. That's what I've been hearing. But Rudy nailed it. How to Train Your Dragon variant. It does look like Toothless, huh?
Wow. Yeah. Now I see that. Jeez.
A little bit. Well, he's toothy, but it looks like Toothless with teeth.
Yeah.
If it's going to be a 5-issue, I don't know what you want to call it, 5-issue dedication, like you have to commit to 5 issues to find out who the host is. It better be somebody big than just some random Paul character.
Well, it's interesting, the dynamic right now, because Paul and MJ pretty much have adopted Dylan, right? So the dynamics, it's cool. So far, I'm on board if that's the case.
Well, Marty, if you're watching, this one's for you. All new Venom, number 1.
Milk that Venom.
Wraparound Virgin 1 in 25, hitting number 8 with a raw near mint at $109. All right, Gabe, what do we have next?
All right. Number 7 is the Killlock number 1. This is from IDW. It came out December of 2019. Sci-fi series have been all the rage, and this book is the most recent to have been optioned. There are rumors circulating that Amazon has optioned this series, but no direct confirmation has yet to hit the mainstream for confirmation. The rumor did have fans immediately running to the aftermarket, that's what's called FOMO, everybody, to secure a copy of this interesting, albeit mostly forgotten series. Just that hint has caused this book to shoot up from $3 all the way up now to $20. Keep your eyes peeled. We've tracked 8 copies sold, 7-day growth of 190%. High sells $28 for a near mint copy, and current VF, very fine raw, is $3.
This looks cool. Have you read it? Anybody read this?
So I read issue 1, and I regret not, continuing. It's just something that fell to the back burner and just stayed there. But it's a six issue series. It's sci-fi robot stuff. It's okay. Again, for the first issue, it's not that I hated it. It's just something I completely neglected. So I'm happy to hear this is getting optioned, but I do want to read it before we get any further news, for sure. I need to finish it up. I know there was also another 6-issue series that followed afterwards. I think it was maybe like 3-4 years after this. So yeah, I'm way behind on the read, but the first issue was good.
I like space stuff. Anything space stuff, I'm sold. Like if I was walking through a comic book shop and I saw this sitting on the shelf, it would catch my attention enough to like make me stop.
And robots. You cannot forget the robots.
Yeah, it's more the space for me. I'm looking at the stars. Yeah.
You can't have space without
All
a robot.
Yeah.
True. They kind of go hand in hand. Number 7, the Kill Lock. Number 1, top sale Raw, shooting up to $28. 7-day trend of 190%. Okay. What do we have next?
We got your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man number 1 at number 6. Now, this cover right here by Leonardo Romero, it's the regular cover by Marvel, and it dropped December 2024. Now, some may forget, but we just got an animated Spidey series on Disney Plus. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man suffered a bit of controversy around release, but since then, it's been smooth sailing. It's a solid series that a lot of fans enjoy, so they naturally visit the aftermarket to see which ancillary books they could get their hands on. This book just so happened to have dropped a month before the release of the animated series. It acts as a prequel to the show and features the first appearance of Susan O'Hara, a familiar last name for Spidey fans to latch onto. We tracked 61 copies sold at a 7-day growth trend of 85%, with a high sale of $23 for a near mint copy and a current near mint raw price of $10. Now, a few things.
Yeah.
We knew the show was coming, and then when I saw this hitting FOC, not only did they have some interesting covers, some cool covers, I made sure to pick it up, and yeah, you do get the appearance of Susan O'Hara. Now, the show drops. They give us a 2-episode drop. Some people didn't like the animation. I actually didn't mind it. It's not my favorite, that's for sure, but it's okay. It's interesting, guys. This is a totally different universe, so I don't go into this expecting copy paste of the actual Amazing Spider-Man story. But it's really grown on me. Like, some of these characters are really interesting. I found the pairing between Peter Parker and Nico Minori to be pretty interesting. Sorry, Minoru. I said Minori. But I found Nico and Peter Parker's pair up to be interesting. It was kind of left field when I knew this pairing was going to take place, and I'm like, okay, let's see how this plays out. But they go great together. I really think as of episode 3, man, this series really picks up. Norman Osborn, what's he got up his sleeve here? He's the only one who knows the identity of Peter Parker and of Spider-Man. Sorry, and I'm like I said, I'm really enjoying it. The only thing that I find a little whack is I didn't feel the need to change so many characters. Although it's an alternate universe, but do we really need like gender swapping on on the Lizard, you know what I mean? Or just like, there's just way too much. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't realize that was the Lizard up until like, oh, okay, the arm's missing, and then she says her name.
Yeah, my daughter's watching this. She's really into anything animated. I don't mind the animation. That wasn't the issue I had either. It was just more that the story itself wasn't really hooking me the way that I thought it was going to. And she seems to like it though. But just to point out, a couple people in the chat already mentioned this. You can still find this in stores, guys.
Yep.
I think ours is just sitting on the shelf. So
yeah, but again, this circles back to what we were saying earlier. And by earlier, backstage, not too many shops order copies for their shelves, right? They get their pull list, and then you catch a few on the shelves. So if you have certain shops within your area that might have extra stock, definitely go check it out before hitting up eBay or anywhere else online, because I'm sure you could find this.
Yeah, agreed. Gabe, anything to add?
No, you guys said everything. It's Crystal's Gage writing it. That's a thumbs up for me.
Yeah,
but I don't care about the book, and I don't care about the show.
Yeah, the show, I think it's more if like you have kids. Like, I think you'd be more inclined to watch it. But
I do have kids. What are you trying to say?
Oh, yeah,
I'm the kid of the group, I guess. So
well, no, Anthony falls asleep watching cartoons. Like, I'll come out, he's watching DuckTales, and
I love him. All these characters swapped out differently, and it being an alternate universe, like, that's already 2 strikes against it. That just doesn't interest me.
Yeah, it's like what Todd's saying. Maybe it's just for the younger crowd. Maybe we've aged out here.
Thanks, guys.
Number 6, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man number 1, raw near mint, $23, 7-day trend, 85%. Somebody at the beginning asked when we were going to see some Mark Spears, so let's just go ahead and Let's get there.
Let's get to it. Let's get to the Mark Spears.
Yeah.
Everybody's favorite. So number 5 is Mark Spears Monsters number 2. Mark Spears 2025 Megacon, No Moss, Captured Collectibles,
Yeah.
second print, Ultimate Fantastic Four, the Jurgovich Homage, limited to 250 copies. That's way too long of a title. Jeez. Another Mark Spears Megacon variant for our list. This time, it's not an Amazing Spider-Man homage, but an Ultimate Fallout number 4 homage, a nod to the next generation of Spidey. These limited Mark Spears variants know how to get the market moving. But with Megacon just finishing up as of this writing, expect more Megacon variants to hit the list. With that said, we tracked 10 copies sold, 7-day growth of 100%, high sell $80 for near mint, and current near mint is $78. So still holding strong.
Okay.
There's no way I would have been able to discern and disseminate that this was an Ultimate Fallout 4 homage.
They look too disconnected, right? This is like one of the few Mark Spears books that just does not hit for me at all.
Guys, I immediately caught on that it was an Ultimate Fallout 4 1 in 25 homage. But if I can be very honest, because I love seeing Mark Spears' stuff. I think Mark Spears shines most when he does originals. I love his stuff, his original stuff. Maybe it's because I'm just in general tired of the homage stuff all across the map. Not just like I'm not talking just Mark Spears, just in general. Maybe it's that, but again, Ultimate Fallout 4 is a huge book. The 1 in 25, we saw that within the pandemic absolutely explode. To see this homage, it is neat, but it's probably the lesser of my favorites on a honest approach here. And again, I really think Mark Spears does great original work. I love his stuff.
Yeah, I agree. All right, number 5, Mark Spears Monsters number 2. Let's keep with that whole momentum and go to number 4. What do we have next?
Well, here we go. Number 4, Mark Spears Monsters number 2 by Mark Spears. And this also dropped at Megacon this year. This is the Davis Riders comics. Second print ASM homage, limited to 200 by Keenspot Entertainment, February 2025. Now, Megacon, the most recent of large Comic Cons and the first of the year, has unleashed a ton of awesome variants to pick up. One of the more popular books is this one, an ASM homage and a Mark Spears specialty. Mark Spears has dominated these lists for weeks and expected to continue if the fan base keeps gobbling up every Mark Spears issue they come across. We tracked 20 copies sold at a 7-day growth trend of 100%, with a high sale of $165 for a near mint copy and a current near mint raw price of $151. Now, I like this one way better than the other one, to be
me too.
Very honest with you. I think this one really looks much better. But again, I just think he really shines on the original stuff. There's I don't know if you guys saw over on FOC this week. There's several. I think it's for Monsters issue 3. You can FOC right now. There's several Monsters covers by Mark Spears that are homages, and one of them is actually the Killing Joke. I thought that one looks great. But again, the originals. There's was it Bridezilla? No, the witch one. Yeah, dude, phenomenal cover. Phenomenal cover. Love it. Great stuff. Mark Spears is here to stay, guys. I rest my case.
Yeah, and I think again, this is a lot of the Megacon momentum coming off of these. So if it's something that you really want, just be patient and see what happens with the aftermarket in the coming weeks. Right after a con, it's always just chaos.
Yeah.
So just see what happens. Number 4, Mark Spears Monsters number 2. Oh, Gabe's back. Okay, Gabe, what do we have next?
All right, so number 3 this week, check it out. We got Magik the Gathering, the Shadow Mage, Volume 1, number 1. This is from the awesome Acclaim Valiant publisher way back in July of 1995. While Pokemon has stolen the spotlight recently, Magic the Gathering is still alive and well. So much so, it was recently announced Hasbro aims to help develop film and television adaptations. Once word hit the market, fans immediately sought out this book, the first Magic comic to release, 2 years after the card game debuted. It came polybagged with the card, which will likely lead to limited availability of promo copies simply because Magic is a card game. And back then, like now, players like to play. Still, collectors are now out in force searching for this book. Again, that's called FOMO. Be careful. We've tracked 84 copies sold, 7-day growth of 57%. High sell $129 for a CC 98 copy, and current near mint raw is just $11.
Okay, near mint raw is $11, but a CGC 9.8 sold for $129. Okay.
Honestly, it's not that bad, guys. Magic the Gathering fans are hardcore, right? Like,
Yeah.
how many times you walk into a shop and there's like an entire group of people playing Magic the Gathering? Like, it happens to me at certain shops here.
More times than I like to see happen.
Right. Right. But yeah, there's a fan base for this, so it's very interesting, especially as you were just saying, Gabe, like how Pokemon has been dominant and at the forefront of the the trading card game stuff. Magic the Gathering making the list. This is a nice surprise, to be honest, for at least Magic the Gathering fans. Myself, I have no interest in the game. If you ask me how to play this stuff, I'm lost as hell.
It's so hard. My daughter was really into it again. There's like these little cards, and it's like all these different. Yeah, but I don't see the correlation between, like, look at the time frame. We're looking at 1995. A near mint plus copy of this, 129. It just seems off to me, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, raw dogs are only $11, and there's 84 copies sold. And that's like the high number on this list right now.
But what's really driving this is that Hasbro said that they're aiming to develop like film and television adaptations. So with that, of course, I don't know if it's the actual Magic the Gathering fans picking this up or if it's just speculators. It sounds to me more like speculators based on that information alone. So that's probably what's driving this book. I'm pretty sure you could come across this for dirt cheap. You just said raw near mints are $11, somewhere around there, right?
Yeah. 9.8 of these, like a near mint, you could get a 9.2, 9.4, 9.6, whatever. But like a 9.8 of these, shouldn't that be going for higher from 1995?
You would think so, but
maybe I'm wrong. Again, like, it just seems that there's a little bit of a disconnect between the gear, the following, and what this is actually going for.
Yeah, no, but
I mean, like Lando was saying, it's speculators who are picking this up. Like Magic fans don't care. So they're not. If Magic fans are after this, they're after it for the card and paying $11.
Yeah,
I don't think very many. I don't think there's that much of a crossover of Magic and comic books where like that Venn diagram where the middle part is like CGC collectors. Like that's not going to happen. That's very, very rare. I think it's. We all know how this works. It's collectors selling to other collectors, dealers selling to other dealers. Yeah. Things like that, right? So.
That makes more sense.
And who knows how many 9.8s are even out there? Like how many of these have ever been really created before? Too?
No idea, to be honest. There's more Magic the Gathering runs that have come out in time, more recent time as well. So like that exists as well. But again, it really comes down to the news of Hasbro saying that they're going to make adaptations. So yeah, this at $129. I agree, Laura. That's what I said at the beginning. $129 for a CGC 9.8. I'm actually surprised. Like that's relatively low in my opinion.
Yeah, for number one of this, I don't know, but I'm not a huge follower of it, so I can't really speak to it. Somebody in the chat says it just depends on who's going to pay for it. So that when you guys make this list, not us. Yeah. Yep. Number 3, Magic the Gathering, the Shadow Mage. Number 1, 9.8, 129, 7-day trend, 57%. Only 2 left, guys. Oh, I forgot the halfway mark. If you haven't already, give the show a thumbs up. subscribe to the channel. Like, we are here every week because we genuinely enjoy hanging out with you guys, talking comic books. Hopefully you do too, but you can show us that you're liking it and enjoying it by subbing and giving the show that little button. Just click it. All right, what's next?
Up next, we've got Captain America 25. Yes, Captain America drops this week. Anthony Mackie is showing up at Midtown Comics, apparently. But anyway, Stuart Immonen, the regular cover, Marvel, October 2014. Now, we all know Anthony Mackie has graduated from Falcon to Captain. What kind of Captain? Captain America, that is. He's leading the way in the upcoming Captain America New World Order and will reportedly return as Captain America for Avengers Doomsday. This book marks the first appearance of Sam Wilson as Captain America and is a book fans have turned to repeatedly since Mackie stepped into the role. We tracked 47 copies sold at a 7-day growth trend of 64%, with a high sale of $119 for a CGC 9.8 copy and a current near mint raw price of $19. Now, what's pretty interesting is, again, this tends to happen as we get closer to a movie releasing, etc. He's been Captain America for quite some time, guys. Like, Endgame came out like 3-4 years ago, somewhere around there, right?
Has it been that long?
I think so. Maybe more. But anyways, besides the point, this is not news. The movie coming out. Yeah, okay, we knew it. But it's interesting that we see a 64% increase as we get closer to the film. And it's a film I'm actually looking forward to. I'm not expecting much, provided the amount of reshoots they've had to do. Like, man, I was so excited. Seth Rollins from WWE was actually going to be involved in this film as somebody from the Serpent Society, and that got completely axed out of the film. They kept going back and forth with this film. So I'm excited over the fact they're going to introduce adamantium, Tiamat being adamantium. So
Adam's so excited about that. My kid, he's like, adamantium's coming. That's his like tag name on all of his games.
Yeah, it's so good. Obviously Tiamat is now going to be adamantium because Cersei, at the end of the film, remember when she froze him into the earth? We're finally going to get that addressed. So on that aspect, I'm happy to see that story move forward. Clearly, the war and all the battle is going to be over Tiamat. But don't forget, guys, I brought this up last night over on Comics Covered with Matt and Brian McClay. In the Jason Aaron run, I believe it was issue 8 or 10 of Avengers, like, that becomes the Avengers headquarters. So could they go that route within the movie? Who knows? But
maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But it is interesting, again, to see this one getting a little bit of a spike as we get close to the movie.
Well, I'm definitely on the list. I have like 50 of these at the warehouse. So, boom.
There you go.
Gabe, you're muted.
He gave up. He threw in the towel.
Gabe, you're still muted.
Damn it.
There we go.
Here.
There we
go. Yeah, technology here. But I mean, even like Jonathan Hickman's Avengers run, time runs out. It's like issue like 34, 35, something like that. Like, he's on the cover, he's in the book, like, before this. So I wonder if that really has any effect, that people are going for that instead, or, whatever the case might be. So interesting.
It is. Number 2, Captain America, number 25, CGC 119, 7-day trend of 64%. What do we have for this week's number 1?
Number 1, going with good old Fantastic Four back issue.
I'm so glad you got this one, Gabe. I'm so glad. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to fill in my lap too. Mark Wolfman, John Byrne on here. It's Fantastic Four, number 209. We're talking about the direct edition. This came out August 1979. After months of patiently waiting, the fan base finally got the first trailer of Fantastic Four, The Feast Upon. Within the trailer, we did get our first look at Herbie, the robot, who first appeared in this comic. We won't lay out the history here, but Herbie is kind of a big deal when it comes down to Galactus. But Herbie and what appears to be Galactus appeared in the first trailer, but their interconnectivity is not known yet. If Marvel is following the comics, there will be a connection, but it remains to be seen just how deep it goes. We tracked 82 copies sold, 7-day growth trend of 283%. High sale, $279 for a 9.8. And current fine raw price is $17.
Let's go. You read the tea leaves, Gabe. You knew.
Yeah, I told you guys that in the chat a while ago that this is going to be one of those books you might want to pick up. It was dirt cheap, it's like a $20 book. Me and Lando's even talked about it. Like, it's a good chance that Herbie can end up being like a baby Groot or a baby Yoda, like the kind of comedy of the series.
Or
the
Jeff
cute
the
kind of
Lamb
cuddly thing. There'll be plushes of him and maybe little animatronic remote control toys of it. Who knows? But this is a fun book. For $17, $20, you get yourself a really nice copy of this book.
Yeah, I know, dude. I was seeing people complaining online about the design, the look of Herbie within the trailer, and just take it for what it is, man. It's Herbie, and honestly, like you just said, I really think people are gonna love Herbie. They're gonna see Herbie on the big screen. Now, the Fantastic Four movie, just to like summarize very quickly and give it to you guys in rapid fashion. I really think it is the Fantastic Four from the main timeline. Don't forget Doctor Strange within the Multiverse of Madness, even acknowledged and recognized Reed Richards, even though it was Krasinski. And he asked, didn't you guys chart in the 60s or something like that? I think that they ended up in this new universe. They got sucked in through a wormhole, doing something, probably traveling to space or whatever it was. End up in this universe, and I think they settled there. Don't be surprised if Reed's been trying to come back for quite some time, and Sue was the one who said, look, we've settled here, we're established, like, we're good, right? They're pretty much like as big as the Beatles, as we saw within the trailer. So they stayed there, and Galactus coming to New York. He was downsized in New York. He didn't devour the world, guys. He's looking for them for a specific reason. Remember that.
I like his design too. It looked really, I don't know. I like the lights. It looked good. Everything looked good about it.
I thought Galactus was a cloud.
No, that's the wrong film, bro. The wrong film. But I really expect this movie to end with something devastating. Probably Shia LaBeouf is gonna sacrifice herself or whatever it is. And they're going to end up in the main timeline. They're going to end up back home, guys. I'm excited. I hope nothing happens to Herbie. Take away Shia LaBeouf all you will, but leave Herbie alone, please.
I agree with you. And I think that there's so much potential. Like these books, I was telling Gabe on the last show, it used to be so hard to move Fantastic Four books. So if it's getting people interested in reading, going back and finding them, like, thank God that people are starting to pay attention a little bit.
Nobody but me has cared about the Fantastic Four in the last 40 years.
Nobody cared. Like, we would do shows for hours and it would be like all these really nice Fantastic Four keys. And people are like, pass.
Guys, I've been on Fantastic Four for the longest time. The only book that keeps eluding me is the Annual 6, the Franklin Richards Annihilus. And
got it.
I absolutely need that. And I got to get this ASAP.
Well, I'll dig around. See if
here's what I hate though is I got a lot of big like FF like keys, because I've been collecting this stuff for so long. But it's getting to the point where I might have to start selling these things because this is the only time that people's even cared to spend money on Fantastic Four books.
There's so many great Fantastic Four books though, like big keys within all of the run.
Big keys, big fun stories. Excellent artwork, great writers. Like there's so many good runs.
Yeah.
So,
well, there you have it, guys. That was our top 10 this week. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Before we go, we'll do a quick round table goodbye. Gabe, we'll start with you.
All right, everybody. Thanks for showing up. Got to talk a little bit of Fantastic Four today, which never happens. It just happens in my head or here by myself in my room. Never get to talk about Fantastic Four out loud. Michael Baker knows what's up, man. He knows what's up with the John Byrne run. But glad everybody showed up. Good list this week. We had fun chatting it up. And I'll see everybody on Thursday.
For the Shakers, baby. Speaking of Shakers, our relatively newly minted Shaker host, Lando.
Yes. what do I gotta say? I gotta tell the people, thank you so much for rocking with us tonight, guys. We ran through the top 10. As Gabe said, we got to talk Fantastic Four, Megacon. I unfortunately didn't get a chance to go, but I'm so happy. I only managed to secure one book from Megacon, and it was actually the Matthew Waite cover, the Chris Pratt. It was a Akira homage.
Oh my god!
With the Super Mario, I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll take that. But yeah, man, I loved it. It was such a cool cover, and I'm happy no one's talking about it, so I could just be happy in my own bubble. But yes, this Thursday, guys, don't forget, we're gonna go live, bringing the Shakers. One of my favorite things to do, because the Shakers is such an unexpected list. I feel like the top 10, we don't see enough offers. I saw a few offers tonight, but on Thursday, we take you into the offers abyss, and I'm there with you guys because I almost have no books on those lists. So there you go.
Awesome. Yeah, guys, right after this, the comic book women are doing the runners up. So that's 12 through 20. So don't go anywhere. That's going to start right after this. Lando, you got to do co-host auditions. Ooh.
Sure.
DM him.
Let's go.
Yeah, DM him. He'll let you know.
Lando's got his own co-host casting couch. So
yes.
Yeah.
The cameras are rolling, baby.
If you make the cut, right? Yeah, guys, thank you for being here. I'll see you next Tuesday. Make sure you tune in on Thursday for the Shakers. Until then, have a great week, and we'll see you later.
Adios.
For the entire crew, this is TiVo saying keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.